Hello and welcome to another episode of Eating Together. This is a podcast about food and reconciliation. My name is Malcolm and I'm a volunteer in Bosnia with ASFAR and the Resolve Network, and I would like to introduce you to Dolma today. The ethos of sharing is important to all food cultures. It's really rare to find a region or a country where there isn't huge emphasis placed on eating together. And that's kind of the basis and reason for this podcast. But I am kind of struck and interested in the ethos of sharing food in the Balkans, the Middle East, and Central Asia. And one of the foods which is most known for that concept of sharing is dolma. Dolma is not one thing. It comes from a Turkish word meaning something stuffed. So it could be stuffed peppers, courgettes, aubergines, and they're usually filled with some combination of rice and mincemeat, which I think is a dish that's really popular all around Europe as well, but it's particular to Balkans, Middle East, and Central Asia. There are some naming issues. Stuffed vine leaves are known as sarma in Turkey, but dolme in Iran and dolmades in Greece. Sarma means stuffed cabbage leaves here in Bosnia and in the Western Balkans in general. We could get bogged down in this and discuss the names for days. I'd probably enjoy that, but we're going to have two separate sections to share. The first is a video made by Rahim from Azerbaijan, who I met in Sarajevo in June, and you may have seen his passionate review of Bosnian pita in episode 2. But I asked him to share something of his culture in relation to food, and he's decided to share a video of him eating and discussing dolma in Azerbaijan. And you will see in the second section me doing the same thing, but in Bosnia, and some final thoughts about
Our traditional name is dolma. It has several types of dolma. Approximately more than 30 types of dolma has in our country, but the famous one is the stuffed grape leaves. It includes rice, ground beef, sauteed onion, fresh herbs and spices, and it's serving with the fresh salad, and important one is the yogurt. We are pouring the yogurt into it, and the rice also is the famous in our country. We love to eat rice with everything, almost everything. Yes, it's also known as tradition of making and sharing dolma. As a part of cultural identity, is included in 2017 in the representative list of intangible cultural heritage of UNESCO. That's why it's important for us. In the maybe next videos I can introduce another types of dolmas, and let me enjoy. Thank you for watching.
Here in Bosnia, I brought together friends and we made two types of dolma. We mixed beef, rice, onions, garlic and tomato paste and used them to stuff zucchini and peppers. Then we boiled them in a pot of water, which also had tomato paste in it. We served them with yogurt, and although we are 3,300 kilometers away, in Azerbaijan and in Bosnia, we shared an experience of eating really similar food that has the same meaning. Its meaning is connected to friendship, togetherness, and love. The slow-cooked soft flavors emphasize all of that. Although the recipe is regionally specific, comfort food is universal. I wanted to speak about food on this podcast series because I'm obsessed with food and I love talking about it almost as much as I love eating it. It's also important to me as a reminder of the year I've spent in Bosnia. I've experienced a different cultural attitude to food and sharing, and in sharing myself and my attitudes I've noticed a shift. Eating gets to the core of our attitudes to other people and our relationships, so a change in attitude to sharing and eating food actually means a pretty big change. I don't know if food can be a force for social change, but eating with others is a bonding experience that everyone should be allowed to enjoy. And it's such a powerful starting point to getting to know your own culture and other people's. Some of my fondest memories of this year are about the sharing of food. Plums thrown into my hands by a woman next to her garden in Sarajevo, Christmas dinner, British style, the tiring process of making çiğ köfte, and so many other small moments. It's been a pleasure sharing small examples of food and culture over the course of this podcast, and I thank all my participants for being so generous with their time and their ingredients.